Kyiv, Ukraine. Only 4 buses with civilians managed to escape from Mariupol after several unsuccessful attempts, Ukrainian officials said Thursday, as thousands more remain trapped under relentless Russian attacks against the last pockets of Ukrainian resistance in the devastated southern port. Another attempt to evacuate civilians from Mariupol will be made Thursday, Ukraine's Deputy Prime Minister Iryna Vereshchuk said. In Kyiv, Spain's Prime Minister Pedro Sánchez and Denmark's Mette Frederiksen became the latest European leaders to show support with a visit to the capital. They were due to meet with President Volodymyr Zelenskyy, who warned in a video address overnight that the Russians were not abandoning their attempts to score at least some victory by launching a new, large-scale offensive. The West stands together to support the Ukrainian people, Frederiksen. Meanwhile, the Kremlin said it submitted a draft of its demands for ending the war, and the West raced to supply Ukraine with heavier weapons to counter the Russians' new drive to seize the industrial East. Britain's defense ministry said in an assessment that Russia likely desires to demonstrate significant successes ahead of its annual May 9th Victory Day celebrations. This could affect how quickly and forcefully they attempt to conduct operations in the run-up to this date. As fears grew for the fate of civilians in Mariupol, the Kyiv Regional Police said Thursday that 2 mass graves with 9 bodies were discovered in the city of Borodyanka, northwest of The findings added to thousands of civilians reported killed by Russian forces, who have been accused of wholesale abuses of Ukrainians. Head of the Kyiv Regional Police, Andriy Nebytov, said 2 women and a teenager were among the civilians killed by the Russian occupiers. "I want to stress that these people are civilians. The Russian military deliberately shot civilians that didn't put up any resistance and didn't pose any threat," Nebytov said, adding that some of the victims were apparently tortured. With global tensions running high, Russia reported the first successful test launch of a new type of intercontinental ballistic missile, the Sarmat. President Vladimir Putin boasted that it can overcome any missile defense system and make those who threaten Russia think twice. The head of the Russian state aerospace agency called the launch out of northern Russia a present to NATO. The Pentagon described the test as routine and said it was. On the battlefield, Ukraine said Moscow continued to mount assaults across the east, probing for weak points in Ukrainian defensive lines. Russia said it launched hundreds of missile and air attacks on targets that included concentrations of troops and vehicles.